Now, I know it's very easy to go into the supermarket and buy some ready-made gnocchi, but nothing beats homemade gnocchi. And I'm going to show you how to make it at home from scratch. Now, we start with our potatoes. Use an all-round versatile potato, just like these ones. We need about 1.5 kilos, and you want them roughly to be about the same size. So these go into a pot of water. Now, this is just tap water. You don't want this water to be hot already. Always start with cold water and bring the heat up. So 1.5 kilos of potatoes, they can go in. A few more. And whenever I'm making gnocchi, I'm going to make a big batch. So some for tonight and the rest can be frozen. It actually freezes really well. So heat can go on. I don't need to salt the water at this stage because we're going to season it later, so it's just a bit of a waste of salt. So these are going to come up to the boil. Once they're boiling, I will cook them for about 20 minutes, but it really depends on the size of your potato. The trick here is not to stab your potatoes constantly with a knife to check them. By doing that, you're allowing all the water to go into the flesh, and that's going to give us gnocchi that's not going to be fluffy and light. So we'll cook them until they're just tender, and then we'll allow them to steam to cool down. Okay, while that's cooking, we might as well get onto a delicious sauce to go with this. So I've got some capsicum here. I've got 2 or 3 capsicum that I've quartered. I've also got some tomatoes, and I'm just going to cut them in half and pop them straight onto this tray. This is a lovely capsicum and walnut sauce that goes quite nicely with gnocchi. A really great vegetarian style dish here. To this, I'm going to add some salt, particularly over those tomatoes, and some pepper if you like, and a good glug of extra virgin olive oil. So drizzle over. And I almost forgot garlic, lots of garlic for this recipe, and I'm going to leave them whole because they're going to soften as they roast in the oven. So we'll just dot them around, and this goes into a hot oven around 190 degrees. Cook these for about 30 minutes or until they're well roasted. Okay, potatoes are cooked. I have allowed them to cool slightly. Just let them steam for about 10 minutes. The key here is to get as much moisture away from the potatoes as possible for that gorgeous light fluffy gnocchi. So I'm going to cut them in half. See how these potato skins are so thin? That's going to make ricing these much easier. So I'm not going to peel them, I'm going to pop them straight through the ricer and we'll be left with the skin. So in they go. If you don't have a ricer, you could use a grater. In that case, you would peel them first. But I think this is a fantastic investment, especially if you're a passionate gnocchi lover like I am. And you can see how easy all that comes out, and we're left with the skins. So we'll pop that to one side and we'll just keep ricing it. And all of that steam is fantastic. That's what we want. We want that steam to dissipate so we're left with that fluffy, dry flesh of the potato. And another one, and it goes. It's actually quite therapeutic to do this too, especially if you've got a really good quality ricer. It just mashes those potatoes with ease. Potato is cooled down slightly, so we can start adding some other ingredients. I like a generous handful of parmesan. Some recipes call for no parmesan, but I like the addition for this. And 2 eggs. Now I add 1 whole egg and then 1 egg yolk. So we'll just make a well in the centre and we'll add our egg and 1 egg yolk. Okay. To this, we need to season it, and a generous pinch of salt. Potatoes love their salt, so a good pinch of salt. There is 1.5 kilos of potato there, so it needs that. And then we're just going to mix that egg in and then start to combine it, just with a fork at this stage. Now, the amount of flour that we need really depends on the potato and how much moisture is on the potato. So I'm going to start with 1 cup, and I will be adding some more to it. So once that's combined, we can start adding our flour. So we'll spread that out again, and we're going to rein in our flour. Okay, sprinkle that in. And they do say not to overwork your gnocchi, and it's important we do not overwork our gnocchi because we don't want them to be little bullets that are firm. We want it to be like clouds. So the way we're going to get that is just by carefully kneading it in. And yes, it gets a little bit messy, but that's the joy of cooking at home. Make sure you have a big board and get into it. You can get the kids involved too. They absolutely love it. I've got a little scraper here, so just scrape your hands down and then we'll keep bringing that together. I'll add some more flour and I'll just keep gently kneading this until a lovely gnocchi dough forms. Okay, this is feeling quite nice now. See how fluffy it still is, and it's just come together. Still a little bit sticky too. And this is where we can start forming our gnocchi. So you want to take chunks off the gnocchi dough, have, again, some more flour on standby onto the board, and then we're going to roll it. So I'm just going to cut that in half again and then roll. And you know that it's come together nicely when it rolls out easily. And you can make really chunky gnocchis or really small ones. That's the beauty of making them at home. You can make them as big or small as you like. So once you've made a sausage just like that, we can grab a knife and just start cutting our little gnocchis. So I place them onto just a tray with some baking paper, making sure they don't touch each other. And once I'm done with this, we can start cooking them. Okay, the gnocchi is ready to go. I've got some water on the boil. And now back to our roasted capsicum and tomatoes. They've cooled down slightly and we're just going to blend it, and that's the sauce pretty much done. So I start with some extra virgin olive oil in the base of the blender, and we'll place the tomatoes in next, skin and all. And for our gorgeous garlic, look at that, they've cooked and they've softened. Just take the skins off and you just squeeze all that yummy flesh out. And our roasted capsicums, they can go in next. Now this is almost like a capsicum pesto if you like, because we're going to add some nuts to it. So some walnuts, a good handful of walnuts, and some parmesan cheese. We'll just reserve a little of this parmesan cheese for the topping, and just for some extra zing, some balsamic vinegar. Okay, I also like another pinch of salt. And then we'll blend this until it's really smooth. All right, look at this glorious sauce. It's that deep orange colour, fantastic, smells great. I'm going to pour some of this into just a pan, and we just want to warm it up slightly. So we'll just turn the heat on. We don't want it to rapidly boil or anything like that. We're going to be adding our hot gnocchi to our sauce. So we just want to gently warm it up. And time for our gnocchi to go in the water. So when you're cooking gnocchi, you don't want this water to be rapidly boiling, just a gentle bubble away as it is now. And then we're just going to gently lower them in. They'll go straight down to the bottom and then they're going to resurface. Now, as soon as they come to the surface, cook them for a further minute. I'm going to cook these and then we can scoop them out and finish them off in the sauce. Okay, these gnocchis have come up to the surface. We're just going to use a spider to take them out and place them into that vibrant red sauce. Look how good they look. I love how they've held their shape. And again, another delicate stage, just gently mix them into the sauce. Give them a bit of a toss. And we can plate up. So grab a spoon and we'll pop our gnocchi onto this very Italian style plate. And I like to finish this off with some extra parmesan over the top. If you've got some walnuts left over, some crunch, and some really good quality extra virgin olive oil just to drizzle over the top. Homemade gnocchi. It is such a joy to make at home. Yes, it's time consuming, but if you do a big batch of it, you will reap the rewards. Delicious gnocchi with roasted capsicum sauce.